Hello, everyone. Corey here, coming in to record the energy update. This is for the week of, it would have been July the 8th if I had gotten this recorded 2 days ago, but I'm recording on the 10th. So let's just say from today all the way into probably into next week, into the 17th type of thing. I am picking up some of the energy that's still trailing through because there's some real trailing energy that is following from this past weekend into now. So there is a lot that is that is taking place. But yet it feels like we are just kind of in some stagnant energy. It feels stagnant, but it's not stagnant. There is a lot of divine energy that's working in, through, and weaving its way through some of the energy. So we do feel the sense of movement through poking holes. It's like threading. The way I see it is it's like threading. It's like a needle kind of threading through, and it's poking holes in the darkness. So stories are getting holes poked into it. So if you've been telling yourself a story for a long period of time, or somebody else has been feeding you a story, there's holes. There's holes in the story. There's light shining in, which means that it is revealing new truths, that there is a light shining in to the darkness that reveals new truth. Now, that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that there is new revelations coming in. And so there's always holes in the stories, right? There's always room for a new truth. There's always room for change. There's always room for change in directions and projections of how things are going to be. And if we don't leave room in, if we're creating goals and strategizing in life, is that we don't leave margins, you know, spaces for things to grow or change, those margins of possibilities of the unknown, then we squeeze things together. If you build a fence and you put the boards too close together, they'll start to warp, buckle over on themselves. And it's having to leave space for expansion. And so this energy brings in that sense of expansion, and whatever is happening now is for expansion. It is for growth. And sometimes it doesn't feel like it is helpful to us because it is making us have to face the things that we don't want to have to face, making us look at the things we don't want to look at, making us have to see things in our lives that we don't want to see. But yet we must see them. We must be able to connect to them in some way, or else we will be in repeat if we keep dragging the past with us. And it doesn't mean always that it's that you have to, step in and just reveal everything to everyone. But for yourself to be able to give that over. I am dying here. It is so hot. I just want to say I'm kind of glossy looking, but it's because it is extremely, extremely hot. We have heat warnings. It is 34 here. And so my upstairs in my loft is probably about 38. And I had the blind fully closed, and the cat has a meltdown. So I had to open the blind, afraid she'll eat it. And so it's really hot. So excuse me if you see me, if I'm very fidgety. But we do have, like I said, this room for expansion. So in order for us to be able to expand, we have to create space. We have to have the space for growth. We have to have the ahas of knowing, or the reminders of knowing, that life is not so predictable as we think it is. And there's a lot of predictability. So when I do predictions, is that I see things that are possible. And I always say this to people, this is possible, but anything can influence this, because your free will choices can influence it. Somebody else's fated energy, somebody else's free will choice can also influence it. So it doesn't mean something is going to turn out exactly as it says. There is a potential for it. It means the energy is there that can create the beautiful, perfect moment. But it may not turn out exactly. We may not get all of it because of the influences. So we have a lot of influencing energy that is around us right now, that is influencing the way things how we thought things were going to be is not exactly as they're turning out to be. So if we were to look at, if you probably might have heard someone say, when we move into 2024, it's going to be all great. Many of us that did this work said, no, we're not. We're going to see changes happening. We're going to see great opportunities. We're going to see holes poking in. We're going to see light come in. So there is a lot of light coming in that pokes holes in that darkness. And so it is changing the projection of how things are turning out. And that can lead us to saying, well, I thought it was going to be like this. I thought my life was going to be this. I thought this is what I was going to do. I thought this was what life was going to be for me. And I had a lot of thoughts earlier in this work and how I thought things would be, what I thought it would be, when I would release a book, what I thought that was going to do. I don't have any of that anymore. I put a book out and I just give it to the universe, and it does what it may. And I don't have any expectations on the book. I don't know what it's designed for. I don't know what its purpose is for. It just goes out. And whatever is shall be. My job and all I'm asked to do is to write the book. And so when God asked me to write a book, or divine energy, source, creator, when I hear the calling to write a book, I just write the book. And then the book, that's my only job. My only job is to write the book until they tell me something else that needs to be done. And so that's trust. That's trust. What the ego would have was a lot of disappointment and a lot of expectations, because you see others, and you see others' books, or you see what life looks like of some people who got published books, and you see them doing different things. You see them succeeding. You see them getting big contracts. You see all of this happening. And in your heart, you're really hoping and praying that yours goes that way. But you also have this excitement, and then this excitement starts to fade. And the only reason why it fades is because you're looking into somebody else instead of staying in the joy and the bliss of your experience. And so bringing it back into all of us is that yours may not be a book, but it's your life, and your life is a book. And if you look into somebody else's life that you see, and you believe they're living a certain way, or you think that's the way they're living, you're thinking that into creation. And so when you start to see their lives different, or you see them as different people, then you start to be disappointed. You're like, oh, well, that's not what I thought. So in the meantime, you've been disappointing yourself, failing on yourself, criticizing yourself, judging yourself, that you are not where they are. You're not doing what they're doing. It's because you're looking in the wrong place. And it's because you're living in the wrong energy. And you've lost sight of who and what your destiny is. Your dream is in the moment, or what you're meant to be in. And so to stay proud and to stay in the own energy of, I just feel so freaking proud of myself for doing something that I never thought I would do. I never thought in a million years I would ever write books. Never thought in a million years that this is what my life would look like. But yet here it is. Anything else? I don't know. And so that's kind of the energy that you have right now. And that's the energy that's looking at us. And it's just saying, did you leave room in your life for me? Did you leave room in your life for the divine? Did you leave room in your life for the light to come in and break things open, to expand within? Or did you try to squeeze it all together, compartmentize it so perfectly, put it all together in your perfect little fit, that there is no room or no space for the light to get in? The light is poking holes. It's poking holes into your life. It's poking holes into the areas of where, you've been trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. You've been trying to hold on to something that you shouldn't be holding on to. You've been trying to keep hidden the things that don't need to be hidden. And there is no space, and there's no room for the divine, for the light, for God, for source, for creator, for sun, moon, stars. I don't care what it is. It's just, did you leave room for space for the divine to step in and to help you with your life? Or is it so squeezed, so tight, and your agenda, your schedule, your everything is so packed full with plans that there's no room for expansion? There's no room for the unexpected. There's no room for the surprises. is that you have created that. And in life, we do that because we are trying to create safety, certainties, and guarantees. But it is an illusion. There is no safety, there is no illusion, there is no certainties, and there is no guarantees. Safety to a certain degree, yes, but not in whole. We exist in a ball floating around in the universe. Your life can change in the blink of an eye. Your schedule can be broken down, can be taken away in a blink of an eye. Things can change so quickly. This year has shown this to us. This year is this kind of energy. This week is like a mid-breaking point of all of what is existing. We are in a midpoint, and somehow, some way, and I don't know how it all looks, we're in a midpoint. We are in a point of where it's like a ship sailing, and now all of a sudden it is starting to get holes in it, is wearing out. So there's things that are wearing out and wearing down. And that thing is sometimes you, it is your stories, it is it's those parts of yourself that you held in such convictions and you're holding on to so tightly that now it is wearing away and it is crumbling, it is falling apart. And so we are here to be able to let things fall apart. Endings must happen in order for there to be new beginnings. And so as much as we try to patch things up, eventually we can't patch it anymore, and we have to let it go. And we have to let it disintegrate. And so what we've been trying, the areas in our lives we've been trying to patch up, just trying to keep it going, trying to keep things as is that we have to really look at that in the essence of what will one more patch do? It buys me time. It gives me another temporary satisfaction. But if I actually deal with this, if I actually do this, what will happen? What will unfold? How will that look? What will it be like if that's what's happened? Interesting. It becomes a very interesting period of time. So we're moving into a very interesting period of time. We're moving through a very interesting energy. And this energy has such possibilities for us. It also contains great love. It contains that of the divine. So that thread on the needle that is coming in is the threads of the divine. That is threading through our tapestry. That is threading through pieces and parts of us and says, I will hold you while you fall. I will be already putting together the new pieces of your life while you're letting the old pieces fall. Because you can't see what is possible over here as long as you are so convicted in your conviction to what exactly you think your life should look like. But in the meantime, we will keep building over here. We'll keep doing what we're doing for you on your behalf over here. We will keep going. And someday you may be surprised. But if you can't see the signs and the synchronicities, if you can't hear the messengers, if you can't let go, if you leave no room, no space for growth, for expansions, if you don't believe in the magic of life, you'll be so caught up in the certainties that life will be filled with a lot of disappointments and a lot of stress and angst and anxiety of trying to hold on, of trying to keep things together. And this energy is just saying, with or without you, things are breaking apart. And some of those things are the stories we tell ourselves. They're the old ways things used to be. Doesn't mean your relationships are falling apart. Is that you may be not existing any longer in the old self with holding on to old grudges, keeping, things, holding on to the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, like really letting go and really setting ourselves free. Because the divine is poking holes in all of our stories. The divine is poking holes in all the places in ourselves that we have allowed ourselves to go dark, to go dormant, to be dark. And it's opening up. So it's building trenches that where stagnant energy is now beginning to flow. And it's bringing in a flow. And as we move forward, and if you look up and you look beyond, you can see how the angelic realm You can see how the ascendant masters, you can see how the guides, your spirit guides, how all is working on our behalf to really truly help us to be able to move forward. But we're moving into a new energy. We're moving into a new time, which means there's going to be a lot of the old that does not move forward, or else we will just contaminate whatever we move into. If you've been insecure in one relationship and you haven't dealt with the insecurities, all you're going to do is be insecure in another relationship. You'll have the same expectations of who and what somebody should be in order for your insecurities to not to be activated and triggered. You will expect them to be the same way, but yet your insecurities will still exist. Finding the source to your insecurities, healing it, will leave you not moving into the relationships with those insecurities. You will be able to know that you are safe with yourself and to be able to trust the self and not be so tied into that fear story. And that's just one of the many things that are taking place in this week. It's a crazy time. It's a beautiful time. But to see the power of the divine step in and feel it in myself and to feel the magic of that, so incredible. So incredible. So sometimes, in life we have to deal to heal. This is our time to deal to heal, but to know that when we're dealing with stuff, when we're healing, if we keep thinking that we're an island and we do it all by ourselves, that we have no help, then we will always feel alone. We'll always feel that fear of that angst and anxiety of, or the anger of, I'm all alone. I got nobody to do this, nobody to help me. We've always got help. We've always got guidance. We are never really alone. It's always there. Are you asking? And are you asking the right questions? And are you asking for the right things, for the right version of yourself? So there is holes poking in the stories, even in the ones we tell ourselves right now. So it may be stopping your tracks and you think of, why am I just not doing that? I just want to tell somebody off, or I just want to do this. And then it's like, whoa, you're getting pulled, stopped in your tracks saying, do you really need to say that? Do you really need to say it that way? Is that really your truth? Is it really your truth? And so it's really helping us to create and exist and to see that there is new realities, and we have to be able to create the space and place for the expansion to begin within us. That's what I have for you this week. Have a beautiful week, and I will talk with you soon. Much love. Bye-bye.